Okay, so now we've got, well, what we've got here is me, right? God, what I've got here is a mess. This is not a great setup, I think. I think I would say fail. What do you think? No. So I got me a new little paint pad here. As you probably noticed the last time I did this, if you saw. But I tried to bring the camera down a little closer so that I can, not have to, maybe not stutter as much, maybe not be as bad video. But alas, it's kind of iffy, even in its current state. So yeah, I probably should raise it up a little higher, but I've got a limited amount of Alright, I gotta. Here, I got an idea. Hold on. This might be easier than I think. How's that? Is that better? It's still kind of in my face, huh? How's that? Well, I guess it could be worse. Probably not a lot worse, but it could be worse. You definitely get to see what camera I'm using. Not that secret-y thing that I had going before. This camera is kind of notoriously bad. For some reason, it always wants to put the white balance like way to one direction. Alexa, turn off heater. Well, it's gonna have to do. Sorry. So let's do a quick box opening. Sure. What time is it? 6:20. Wasn't gonna do this, but let's do it. Yeah, I'll do titles later. So I'm doing a box opening here. This is a Hero Forge. Now this is like the third Hero Forge I've done a box opening for. This one is mine. Ooh, I've never actually got my own Hero Forge. I created it, put it on my wish list on Elster, and my son and my daughter-in-law bought it for me. So let's see if I can get this to be nice and focused so you can see this beauty. There's a couple of things I want to try, but let's try to get this light in a place where now I look at them through a magnifying glass, and this is because I look at them through a magnifying glass. I'm gonna need some light, huh? Yeah. You'll have some light in a minute when I start looking at it through my magnifying glass. Because my magnifying glass has a light on it. Okay. So, let's see how they did. Now, this is one that it's meant to be a monk. Does it look like a monk? Probably not so much, but that's okay because it's the design of my monk plan. Alright, so Hero Forge lets you put a lot of details on your figures. Now this is, they call it, it's some kind of high resolution, supposed to be a really high resolution black. See if they're numbered even. I don't even know why I would number it. 6637. Why do they need to number it? Who knows? But it's probably, I wouldn't say it's one of a kind, but it's certainly got to be pretty close because you put your own little choices on there, and I didn't take any of the defaults. He is a monk. What this is supposed to be, and I got to fix that. Obviously, it's not supposed to be bent. It came all bent up like that. It's very stiff, so I'll have to do the heating, I don't know, hairdryer, hot water thing, and see if I can shape that back into place. Now, it is a scimitar, so scimitar might have a little natural curve to it, but not that much. That's a little bit much. This is very smooth. I'm actually pretty impressed. There are still some printer lines, but not as bad as I've seen, because I've seen Bones, or I keep calling one of Bones Black. I've seen the high resolution versions of their prints before, and they're oftentimes pretty what do you want to call it? Pretty, you can see the lines really bad. I mean, to the point where there's heavy duty texture. And then they also have been known to leave quite a few of the stents. But you know what? They've really cleaned this guy up good. I don't see any, I don't want to say there's no stents, but there are stent stubs, the little things that hold up pieces and parts of the body. But you know what? I mean, I kind of see where they were, but they cut them off really nice. There's not very many locations that I would complain. This is like probably the best one I've seen out of the few I've handled. And at one point I was kind of not, I was like, well, you know what? I think a lot of the Etsy prints are better, but this was quite possibly the best print I have seen from Hero Forge. And the other two were also high quality. The other two I worked with. So I bought one for my son a while back, and I painted it for him. But it was a high quality black print. It's supposed to be, you know, they're high end, pay a little bit more for it kind of thing. And it came out with so many lines. And then they had bought one for his father-in-law at one time, and it had tons of lines, really bad. In fact, I had to clean it up, constantly cleaning off little chunks of stent, and it wasn't great. If I had to say anything bad about this, which you don't have to say anything bad, but if I had to say anything bad about this, I would say it seems a little flat. Like his, although he's got some chest design here, he has got like no, his skin is so smooth. I mean, there's like no muscular design anywhere that, you know, even his foot is like super smooth. There's no muscle shape, nothing. It's just, there's no detail to the musculature of these characters. No, you can't see the dents in the skin. You know, a lot of times you can see pretty good detail in the skin and the way that they'll, I feel like it's like a smoother print, but a lower, it's like they smoothed it out by way of cutting off the their way to make it look smoother was to just take out detail. I don't know. Like it's almost like it's been painted really thick coat of paint. That's what I feel like. You know, just lost some of its details simply through that thick coat of paint. I don't know if I like this. See the horns, they're attached to the wings. That'll make for very good stability, I suppose, but not that you need it. They're pretty heavy, they're pretty thickly connected. I'm just trimming off a little bit of these. There are a tiny little bit of dents and stuff, but I wouldn't knock them for those. I wouldn't knock any of them, these places, for that minimal amount. Now, as far as him being a monk, he's got a scimitar. I think it's a scimitar. But this is a monk of the astral, what do they call it? Astral visage, something like that. And so he is actually not a dragonborn. He's actually he's a changeling. And this is his visage. So when he has his level 3 arm visage, he actually has wings that come out instead of arms. And so his wings will kind of be, I'm going to try to figure out if I can figure out how to paint them in a way that makes them look, I want to say, ghostly. Is that a thing? Can you make ghostly wings? And then, or even try to make them look a little bit, and then he will look kind of like this is his body, his normal body, and then his devilish head is part of his astral visage as well. So it's like, technically it's my level 5 character when he gets all of his astral visages going. I think it's weird. I don't know if I like the horn being attached to the wings. Or at least not such a large... It's not that it'd probably be crazy difficult to get it off the wing, because it's actually quite a bit of material. But anyway, there you go. There's my review. I think he's pretty good. I like him. I'm looking forward to painting him up. I'll probably be doing that soon. Probably one of my upcoming projects. I need to paint more often, for sure, because I got a lot of projects beside that, plus my Frosthaven painting. It's kind of interesting. It's gray underneath this black. This black is like a primer. It's almost like they put tons of primer on this guy. Maybe that's why he looks so smoothed out. I didn't know that they were pre-primed. And I thought they were just printed black. Which is kind of interesting. It does cover up the lines, but I don't know if that's the best way to do it. Hopefully he'll get to play enough, because sometimes, you know, the D&D games, they lose their oomph. You know, they keep going, and then all of a sudden people stop playing, and we can't get everybody to meet up anymore, and then the game dies, and your character's like, no. Doesn't get to see the light of day. Kind of a pretty generic base, but it ought to work. No, I like them. Came out good. I just got to fix that sword, which I think I can do with some heat, and it should be up and running. I got to put some, should probably put some flex on his base and put him in a case so that he's safe and sound. this is flex iron I use. This is one of the things that I sell through Actimines Games. Flex iron is not magnetic, but it'll make it adhere. It's this ferrous, iron ferrous material. It's just rubber, but that's why I call it flex iron. And it goes on the base of your minis, and you can and then they'll stick to a magnetic base, which is what we put inside of our cases. Now, giving a character a name is not like something. I don't like. You could get these customized and have them like put a name on them, you know. I don't do that because I might use the character for something else. He might not always be Zhenli. Oh no, this is Zhou Qianli, the brother of Zhenli. Zhenli was another character I had who was actually a fighter. And that game, that was one of the D&D campaigns that died because somebody left the group, and and then my son, who was running the campaign, decided he'd just rather start over. so we just started over. I guess he had some other big plan. I don't know. But it's starting off okay. We're getting some plays in at least once a month, if not twice sometimes. So we'll see. But I'll put him in my monk case, and we will be all set for him to be painted as one of the many, many faces of Zhou Qianli, who the changeling. Now, how is he a brother of my other guy who is a Genasi? Well, I'll tell you, they are not actually blood relation. Oh, they are, but they're blood by like only through their father. And father got around. he had a son with a genie and a son with a changeling. So how does that happen? Craziness, man. So they're half changeling, I guess. I don't know what, doesn't seem to change his ability too much. He's pretty good at it. Now this dude, this is Royce, okay? Now Royce's primary problem is his face is weird. He has like no detail on his face. Not even a little bit. It's like I painted it. He's got a nose, 2 eyes, and the rest is just like bleh. It's like a blob of bleh. I have no idea how I'm going to paint that to look like anything. They do got to put eyeballs in his eyes, but beyond that, he has no face of any consequence. So, yeah, don't look at his face. He's kind of lame that way. Alright, so he's actually, for a thief kind of guy, he's got kind of some heavy duty armor on him. I'm running out of paints again. I need to get me a paint palette that stops running out. See, they're all getting full. I don't know, man. Driving me bonkers, running out of paints all the time. I gotta stop having to do my paint palettes every time I do this. I gotta wet them up so they're not dried out. Trying to figure out where to put the paint that I'm not like. So this is red grass. This is where I want to get my where I want to get my paint palette from. They make pretty cool looking paint palette. I want to get one for the table here, so I don't have to work so hard at my paint palettes. Can you have white armor? Probably not. I'm gonna go with like a bronzy armor. How about that? I feel like I should just start over. Right. I'm pretty sure I put a shaker ball in here, but it's not shaking up at all. Now I should probably be using colors that are, because I put that, what do you call it, that fancy zenithal priming on it, where you put black underneath and white on top, and I'm just not a. If I want to have metallic on them, though, I have to put metallic paint because I don't know how to do NMM. NMM is out of my league. That's NMM is OOML. Alright, I'm only going to be painting for a few minutes, but again, it's one of those, let's just get some paint on these guys, keep making them progress so that they have a fighting chance at getting done one of these days. You know? Can't get done if they don't make progress. For a guy who's supposed to be like a quick in and out, I don't see how this armor makes him better. Seems like he'd be slower. Yeah, I know, I'm not talking. Just trying to get this stuff on his legs. I'm not exactly sure, like I said, I'm not sure how this is set up, if it's supposed to be leather. He's got a lot of mold lines on him too. Mold lines are that little plastic ridges that come up when you I wanted to give this guy a fair amount of white on him, kind of like his buddy, but I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I mean, you're supposed to be quick. You shouldn't be wearing metal armor, right? Doesn't seem like that makes you quicker. And you can't be that great at armor. His hit points are pretty crap. Because armor point, I mean, I say hit points are partially judged by your armor. At least that's what I think. Yeah. It's probably not the case. It's just like weird. He's got like fingertips over here, but his fingers are all white over here. He's definitely got some weird stuff going on with his with this mold. It's definitely not perfect. I would not call him perfect. Now tomorrow is when I plan to try to do a session 3. Now there is a chance my solo game will come to an end after, I don't know when. I haven't put any stickers on the game yet, but I may still be having a shot at starting a game with multiple people. If I do that, then I probably won't be marking it up. You need to like figure out a way to mark the scenarios that I'm doing in the event that I do keep going with the single solo play, because I don't think I want to mess up multiplay. If that happens, there's no guarantee that the multiplay is going to happen. So, but I do know that I found a couple people who are interested in possibly doing it. Mm-hmm. Doing these really fine lines that I'm like, I don't understand how people can do freehand. It's just to me, it's so far out of my reach of skill that I'm like, how do they do freehand? 'Cause I can barely get these little lines drawn, much less drawing an entire picture. It's just insane. Talent, that's how they do it. Talent, massive amounts of steady hand and visual brain talent. Alright, this guy's got too many pieces sticking out, little crap things. I gotta cut them off. It's bugging. I can't get the paintbrush where I want it. He's just got too much junk going on. I gotta cut some of this off. If I can reach it, it's gotta go. He's got this huge chunk of plastic just doesn't belong right under his leg. Being the OCD character I am, I just can't do it, man. I keep trying to ignore it, but it's like I keep telling myself, it's not gonna be. You're not entering this in a contest. No one's gonna see it. It's like, but I know it's there, and I have to paint around it, and I don't want to. And mold lines that go like under the legs and stuff are even more annoying. Because they're like, just can't get to them. Then you gotta be careful that you don't like slip, because if you slip, you like cut off an arm or like the razor's really quick to cut something off. It's like it might be difficult to get something you want off, but boy, something you don't want off just pops right off if you slip. So be very careful when you're cutting. Alright. Well, at least I kind of cleaned up those little chunky bits. And at least I don't have to be irritated by them anymore. Well, I'm pretty sure I didn't get it all, but I got a lot of it. Now I'm less irritated. So I got a Razer GPU box. It's supposed to be a pretty good one. Now I just need to get a GPU, but now then I can play some pretty good games on my Surface Pro. It's an for external GPUs. They're expensive. So I got for Christmas for my wife. My monitor's dying too, so I'll need to get a new monitor. Still got some things to do to get my computer fully where I want it, but it's getting there. It's got weird knuckle situation going on here, like his fingers fold around, but the it's so messed up. Okay, well, I cleaned him up a little bit, got a little bit of paint on him. Not as much as I probably should have, but I think it's gonna have to do for the moment. I don't know what else to bronzenize. No, I didn't put it on his. I didn't put it on his other arm. His other arm does not have the bands, though. So it's a little bit different. Seahawks, did they win? I have neighbors that always fire fireworks when Seahawks win, but it's also like they could have leftover just fireworks from yesterday, and they're just firing those. I don't know. Now, this guy is from a board game. He's not a miniatures company. So you could look at it as they're not going to be as good in general. Like if you got minis from Reaper, you got to put a higher level of expectation down, right? Because it's Reaper, the Reaper minis. If you do the same thing goes with, CMON. You're looking at CMON minis. You're like, okay, CMON, you guys are supposed to be experts. I expect, expert level minis. So, but, this is a board game company who I probably shouldn't expect that level of, you could expect it, but it might be an unreasonable expectation. That's not what they do. They did a board game. I thought it was CMON at one time who did this, but I was wrong. So, CMON does not own Frosthaven. That is just some other company. Cephalor Games, something like that. Well, he's getting more and more color. More and more color indeed. So just go ahead and go all in with the bronze. Put a little bit more. Use it on his armor plate, his chest plate. I'll have to do something different with his little apparatus on his back. I don't know. That must be what makes him be able to go fast and slow. His little magic time machine apparatus. Got this fancy pants gold bronze armor, but not really protecting him that much. He's only got a 6 armor class, whereas 6 HP. Maybe he's just skinny. Any damage it does get past his armor is gonna hurt. And of course, you know, he's got other parts of his body that could be susceptible, I suppose. Things that aren't covered. He's just not that. He's not a muscular guy, I guess. Alright. Ooh, probably should do the bottom of his leg there, huh? I mean, in theory, it probably isn't. I don't know, probably isn't metal, too. Leather straps under there, probably more than anything. Alright, that's close enough for today. I got a little bit more paint down on them. They're starting to show color. Slowly. But surely. Enough. Alright, man. Anybody stops by, leave comments, please. Check out the X case on Actominds Games. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. See the cool videos of everything it does, what we plan to make it do more of. And hopefully at some point in the future get that Kickstarter launched so that everybody can take part in its spectacularness. You have a good one. Until next time, goodbye.